Hey guys, just a forewarning that this episode has quite a bit of cursing in it, and I don't want to cut all of that out because it would take too much time. So just a warning that there is a lot of cursing in this episode. The stories are pretty funny, so it's worth listening to, but just want to let you know if you don't want to hear cursing or somebody around you to hear cursing, I would maybe save this episode for another time.
Shut it off right now. We're both assholes. Sorry.
You're all fired up, man.
You know why? What is it? What's today's episode?
It's a story
time. Everyone loves story time. It's story time. It's story time.
Oh my God.
You know what that's a little bit like?
You have so much energy.
It's a little bit like it's peanut butter jelly time, but it has less.
Yeah, remember that
syllables.
time that you went out and did freestyle, and then
it's peanut butter jelly time.
I came out after with a giant banana.
Yeah.
Well, because so you always wore yellow, like that was like your color, and we had won this like giant banana toy at the fair, and like a bunch of little ones.
Yeah, okay.
And I came out.
It's Family Guy. It's the most important thing.
I know.
I love that show. One of my favorite shows ever.
But also, you were in love
it's
with
peanut
yellow.
Butter jelly time.
And then after your freestyle round, I came out, and like my mom came out too, and we were throwing the banana.
Yeah, there was like three
toys
of them at least.
you.
One was just a banana. One was Brian in the banana costume, and I don't remember what the other one was. It was probably something with Stewie.
I think it was just a regular banana, and then there was a big one though.
Yeah, the big banana. I remember the giant banana, the Brian banana. There was something else.
I think the other one was just a small banana.
And then it could be, and then they were hitting me with them, and
and Enzo was looking at everything like, what is going on?
And then I was thinking, it's peanut butter jelly time.
I think we even played the song over the speaker potentially after the freestyle. I don't remember.
I still have the Brian banana.
That was a really long time ago.
I have the Brian banana in another podcast. I'm going to bring it and say, remember I said?
I wonder what happened to the giant banana.
Well, I wanted to take them all, and you're like, no. I'm like, you just threw them at me. I should be the one who could get them. I said, I'll take them, and they said, no, you could pick one.
Okay,
and I picked the Brian banana.
Not true. I think I gave them all to you.
No, you absolutely didn't.
Why would I want them?
Your mom said no, so you have to ask her because I remember.
Okay,
I wanted them. I was only allowed to have one. Well, I still have it. I still have Brian banana.
Why would we want to keep the banana plush?
I would have. We still have them, but I got Brian banana. It's real cute. So Brian, who's a doggy,
I don't even know. Like
he has a banana costume. So cool.
I don't still have those, so I don't know where they went.
And by the way, this isn't what the story time was about. This wasn't
what the story time was about.
But it's story time. It's story time.
You have so much energy right now.
No,
I think you should tell the story.
No, they're not my stories.
Tell my story.
No, I'm sad. No, we're not going to talk about my stories.
What story do you have? Did you come with a story? I thought you didn't bring a story.
No, I don't. That's why I'm sad. I don't have a story except for peanut butter jelly time.
Okay, so maybe you'll think of one.
And now you're telling me to stop singing peanut butter jelly. Okay. So tell us about...
How is it that you have more energy? You guys, we've recorded like 4 episodes today, and Jeff somehow has more energy than the first one.
Because we're talking about Family Guy and Brian. So your first story is a doozy.
This first story is where I was targeted at the Springfield, Missouri Walmart. So here's my hot tip if you're traveling with dogs. Maybe don't go to that Walmart in Missouri. So, I'm
already laughing.
So I'm on my way to IDC finals, and I'm in an RV by myself with the dogs, and I make a stop at Walmart. Got to get the dog water, all the stuff you got to get, and was a potty stop for the dogs, and that was the mistake right there, is that I went to like the corner of the parking lot where there was grass, and I had enough dogs to not have them all on leash like in one go. They were all on leash, but it was 2 separate groups of dogs to take out on leash. And we could really blame this whole story on Link. This is all Link's doing.
So he was a baby then?
He was a little baby. He was like 4 months old, I think, or 5 months old. So he decides to poop because that's what he does. He's a dog, but
a little poop machine.
He was a poop machine. So I had a bag and of course pick it up like any good dog owner does. We love that. I pick up his crap and tie the bag off, and I'm in the corner of the parking lot. I'm not going to go all the way to the trash can to, throw this away if somebody else is going to go to the bathroom, because I got multiple groups. Link was the first one to go. And so I tie the bag up, put it next to the car, and I go back in the car and I come back out, and I think it was Volt and Flair, or Volt and Sora, I think was the next group that I brought out. And, they're standing there going to the bathroom, and, the bag of shit's on the ground. And this little SUV pulls up like kind of right in front of where I'm parked, and they're sitting there, and I'm like thinking, well, this is bizarre. Like maybe they're pottying their dog too, and they're going to get out with a little dog or something. I don't know. It was an older couple and no dog. So I'm like, okay, this is odd. Like nobody that's shopping at Walmart is going to park this far away from the store. Like any sane person would probably go park a little closer. And so they're just sitting there, and, I'm like, I don't know what these people are doing. And then they roll down the window, and the woman who's in the passenger seat pulls out her phone and starts taking pictures of the van.
Oh my God.
And they're an older couple, and maybe I have a problem of seeing the good in people sometimes, and this is one of those times. And she, I'm thinking, oh, that's really odd. She's like taking a picture of the van. Like maybe they want one. Like maybe they're going to ask me about the van. Like maybe they're interested in buying one of these for themselves, and they're just, they're old. I don't know. Well, she was old enough to do weird stuff. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't know how to use her cell phone. And I'm just thinking, they're going to ask me. I figured she's going to start talking to me, because this is already weird that she's sitting there like taking pictures. And maybe she's going to ask me about the van and how to get one or anything about it. So then she turns the camera towards me and starts taking pictures of me. And I'm like, well, that's really, really weird. That's very odd. And I don't think that maybe it's not the van. Maybe they saw us on like IDC before or something. Like maybe they saw me on TV and they're just really shocked to see me. And maybe it's like they're just seeing somebody they saw on TV out in the wild, and they're like trying to sneak a picture or something. I don't know. I'm like, why is she taking pictures of me? This is so crazy. And then, she's like struggling to take the picture, because she starts putting the phone like outside the window and stuff. I mean, the amount of time that it took this woman to take pictures, it was sort of like, what are you doing? And so I said, I said something. I'm like, hey, how's it going?
I want to interject a quick comment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you're talking about the person with the camera, it's just a funny story that I just thought of. It has nothing to do with Frisbee, but it does have to do with dogs. So I was in a parking lot not that long ago, a couple months ago, and when I go to lunch during the day, I always try to get out, and I always take Punky with me. I call him my truck dog. He jumps in the truck like Lassie did back in the day, and all those. I always wanted a dog like that. I would just go with you everywhere you went, and he's my dog. So he's in the car, and I'm coming back with my food, and my windows are part way down and everything like that. And from a distance, someone on the exact same trajectory as me walking straight towards the back of my car, and I'm a decent distance behind, and I'm walking, and this person's still going there, and it's so obvious they're in a beeline right to my car. So I'm walking behind them, and I start getting all swole, because I'm thinking I'm going to need to do something here, because my dog's in there,
Yeah.
And
You're like, yeah, don't mess with my car with my dog
yeah,
in it.
you're not doing anything. So I reach him just as he gets to my car, and I said, can I help you? I did it in a kind of a loud not necessarily angry voice, but one that'll let you know it'd wake the dead. It was loud and it was not high pitched. It was not a happy sounding voice. And the dude turns around. He jumped out of his skin, and here was he was. I couldn't see. He was looking at his phone, and just in his own little world.
Oh my God, he didn't even know where he was.
And he just, I'm sorry. But he was just.
Jeff,
watching.
you scared this poor person.
He was
just watching their.
By the time I got to him, I'm not kidding. He was almost ready to run into the car. I mean, he was out there, and I sped up my pace. I was about 5 feet from him. I said, "Can I help you?" And then when he turned around, I saw his phone. I'm like, the dude's looking at his phone, and I couldn't see because he's blocking it the whole way. Anyways,
dude, I actually had a similar moment. We'll get back to the main story, but I was waiting to do a halftime show, and I went into a restaurant, and I could park the car like right outside the window, so I could see the van while I was eating really quick inside, and so. These kids go up to the back of the car, and I don't know what they're doing, but they start to touch the back door of the van, and you would not believe how fast I jumped up from that restaurant booth and ran out there, and I start screaming at them, "Don't you touch that fucking van!" And I'm like, "I'm gonna call the cops on you!" And I went ballistic. I looked like a freaking mad woman, and.
This is very relatable to your story. Actually,
well, okay, but this was justified because they were touching the back of the van door. Yeah. I didn't know what they were doing. My dogs are in there, and the air is on and stuff. But I'm like, what are these kids doing? And they jumped, dude. They're like, we're not doing anything, and I'm like, damn right you're not. Get the fuck out! And I'm like, just going ape shit on them, and they ended up walking off and stuff, and they were just trying to draw crap on the back of the van, but I went off on it because I was just like, you're not touching that freaking car, not with my dogs in it. We're not even drawing pictures up there. It's not happening.
So you had left us with the idea that a lady is
trying to take pictures of me, and she's struggling with her camera,
videos, and you're just like,
I don't know what she's doing. So I'm like, hey there, just a friendly, thinking, what are you doing? She's like, you need to pick up your dog shit. And I'm like, what? She's like, you need to pick your dog shit up. How dare you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like thinking, dude, did Voltasora go? And I didn't see it. I'm like, am I the asshole here? And she's like, look at it. Look at that shit on the ground. You need to pick that up. You're not going to leave that there. And she's pointing at the bag on the ground, it was picked up in the bag and just on the ground because I'm waiting until everybody goes and then we'll take it all to the trash can. And she starts screaming at me, and I'm like, it is picked up. It is in a bag, and it will be going to the trash can when we are finished here. And I'm like, okay, this woman's just crazy. She wants to post me on a Facebook group.
She putting you on blast,
girl. She put me on blast. I'm going to be on the news in Springfield, Missouri. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. She's yelling at me about the bag of poop that is picked up. I mean, it's not like I left it's not like I left the poop there and walked away.
But what's crazy is they pull over before any of this is even going on, and they're already thinking, something's going to be happening, and they're all worried about it.
It was crazy. And
I'm having problems with our set here.
Our set, whatever. Set malfunction. Their set's tired. We need a new set.
Anyone want to donate to our new set?
Yeah, who wants to donate to our new set? Anyway, so she starts yelling at me, and I was at first trying to reason, which was maybe a mistake because this woman was not. You can't reason with them. You can't reason with crazy. And then she just starts going off, and she said, you better pick that shit up right now. And I'm like, no, dude, we're waiting for the rest of the crew. I'm like, lady, I said, I think you need to go. It's handled. You need to go. And she's like, I'm going to call security on you. And I'm like, you know what?
I would have been like, do that.
I said, please, actually, you're doing me a favor. Please call security. And so she drives off and she finds the security car that's driving around the Walmart parking lot. And I'm like, you know, I could have left, right? I could have just like packed everything up and left. But I didn't do that because I just needed to see how this was going to go. I was like, yeah, I can't. It's just getting good. So so the security car drives over and they park, but they're like a little bit further away now. They're a little bit closer to the store, but they're not that far. They're definitely they're in viewing distance of me. And so the security guy starts talking to me and he's like, hey man, I know they're crazy. Like, and I'm like, you think something a little crazy is going on? He's like, I totally get it. I just have to come out of over here, because that's my job and I have to do that. And I'm like, yeah, I explained what happened. And he's like, yeah, she's just crazy. And, I get it. I'm going to leave you alone, but I just had to come over here out of obligation to talk to you. And he's like, I got to tell you, you probably shouldn't have come to this Walmart. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, this is actually like out of all the Walmarts around here, this is the worst one. This is actually the worst one. And if this is the worst thing that happens all day,
this is today, a good day.
This is going to be a really good day. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And he's like, yeah, I'd recommend just leaving and never coming back. And I'm like thinking, well, yeah, I think that goes without saying.
So if a security guard, this is the lesson for the day. If a security guard says leave and never come back in a nice, friendly way,
take that as advice.
Go run for your life.
But I didn't do that. So, okay. So the dog's finished. They're going to the bathroom. And in the end of things, it was only Link that actually went something that needed to be picked up. The others all peed. So, I was wondering, like, why did they do this? What was the purpose of this? Why target somebody who's actually picked up their dog shit? Why not go after somebody who didn't? I'm sure there was somebody that day that didn't, but they're the dog poop police, so they must know best, right? So
who looks for conflict like that too? I don't understand it.
But this was crazy. And so I did have to take the bag of poop to the trash cans because I was in an RV that, like, some of them have compartments that you can put stuff on the outside. That's not the case with the little Class B RV, and I was not going to have it inside with me. And I could have driven over and dropped it, but the trash can wasn't that far to walk, and it just, I am my mother's daughter, and so I, and you know what, you'll know what that means in a second. I took Volt out on leash with the bag of poop because, I needed a guard dog, and Volt probably wouldn't bite him, but he would definitely push him out of the way if that's what needed to happen. And so I walked to the trash can, of which this couple has parked their XUV right next to. And like I said, I am my mother's daughter, and I couldn't just drop the bag of poop into the trash can. I couldn't help it. So as I walked by, I proudly paraded the bag of poop in front of the windshield. And I said, looky here, I'm getting ready to throw it away. Aren't you proud? This woman, she gets out of her car, or out of the passenger. This woman gets out of the passenger
and
seat.
You know what? Everyone figured when the security guy came, the story was over.
No, it couldn't be over. I'm sorry. Okay. And let me just tell you that when I called my mother to tell her immediately after what happened, she was like, you only walked past their car with it and threw it away? You mean you didn't, like, throw it at their windshield? I mean, she's like, to be honest, I would have opened the driver door and taken the guy's back of his head and shoved that shit down his throat. And I'm like, Mom, thank God you're not on this trip because
she'd be in jail again.
She'd be in jail again. She'd be in jail, and we would not have made it to the IDC. We would have been on the news. And so thank God she was only at home and not on this trip, because we would not have made it to IDC. And so anyway, this woman jumps out of the passenger seat and she charges me. And this woman had to be in her 70s. She had to be in her 70s, and she had these like really short shorts on, and there is nothing against that, but it was just very odd. It was really it was an odd choice of dress. And she had these crazy sunglasses.
This story never gets old.
And she charges me, and she gets about like 5 feet from me, and she comes to a sudden stop and puts her hands down, starts stomping her feet. And she says, "You California piece of shit!" And I'm like, and there we go.
Oh, that's the whole thing. Wow.
You have got to be joking me. I was just stunned. I'm like, this is really happening right now. I didn't think this would be happening.
It's like we live in California because we love the food, we love the weather, we can play with our dogs year round. There's so much you can do. We're always outside. God. And then like this person's like, I guess they're jealous because we got great weather and great food.
I don't understand. Like, it was the she went to the corner of the parking lot. Her husband drove her. I assume this is her husband. I mean, I don't know how did they find each other? I don't know, but clearly he was in on this crazy shit in her plan. How did they clock that I've got like a California plate? I don't even know how they saw that far. Were they sitting in front of the Walmart with binoculars?
And would they know what the plates even look like? Like, I couldn't tell you what a Missouri plate looks like, or Arizona. We live right next to Arizona. I don't know what they look like from a distance.
And then it was like,
have to walk right up to
find something that someone wasn't even doing. Like accused.
And you put shit in the bag.
I put the shit in the bag.
So what do you think you're going to do with it? Like, can they think ahead? Can they use? God. This does not require critical thinking skills. I was still
standing out there with the other dogs, waiting to see if they go to the bathroom. I mean, none of this adds up to normalcy. So that's the only reason I can think that that she went crazy on me is because of the license plate. I have no idea, but I did say, next time you do this to somebody, how about you do it to somebody who doesn't actually pick up their dog's shit? Because I do. And yeah, so that's basically the story. By the grace of God, I didn't end up in jail. I made it to IDC. And you know what? Flair tried to shit on the field anyway. And, that's just kind of, that was a
shitty trip, wasn't it?
Shitty part. Well, no, the rest of the trip was great. But that part of the trip was kind of shitty. I was like, I was stunned. I'm still actually stunned that actually happened. I was like, is this a dream? Like, what is going on?
And
so that was one of my crazy encounters.
These kinds of stories aren't just limited to the United States.
I know it wasn't a disc dog story.
Well, no, it is because you were going somewhere. It's hilarious. We can all relate to this kind of stuff. But they don't all just. It's not just the United States where this kind of thing can happen.
No, it's not. It actually. Sora's trying to destroy
if the camera falls,
whatever. Who cares?
You'll know why
you don't
we
want
have
to see
a break
us anymore
in the
anyway.
Action.
So our set just doesn't want to call.
Well, our story was real shitty in that first one. So.
Okay, so this one's great. This one's actually great. It's another one.
We need to get some violence. Come on, let's go.
This was actually another. This was another encounter.
I did. We got to keep this in. Don't edit this out because this is perfect.
No, we need to edit this.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just pretend like
nothing happened.
The set fell again, guys. So, okay. Yeah, this type of story or type of encounter is not limited to the U.S., unfortunately. Like I thought it was. I just thought like some Americans were crazy. And I thought, Canadians are the nicest people.
And I did a lot of work in Canada. I'm really familiar with it. I love my Canadian friends. Hi, all you. I don't know who you are.
Hello, my Canadian friends that are watching, and I do not pin this on you at all. And
we love all you.
We do not
Every one of you.
generalize here. So I had a very similar encounter, though not as crazy, but similar, at a park in Canada. And I was there for another competition. And, I was practicing at the park beforehand. And I was just at a random park. And, I go off into the distance where there's a soccer field. And this park is huge. There's like tons of open space. Everybody could like easily mind their own business and have their own part of the park to play. And there's a lot of people there with dogs off leash, but the park's so big that, everybody's all in their own space. And then this woman with, it was what was it? Maybe an American Eskimo type dog. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, it is cold in Canada.
Well, it was one of those types of dogs. And it was a medium-sized dog. And so I'm doing my freestyle with Sora and nobody's around. And, I finish up the routine and I'm walking around to pick up all the discs at the end because I'm going to take her back to the car. And this woman comes up out of nowhere and then her dog is like mad dogging at the end of the leash, trying to like bark at Sora and go after Sora. And she was still holding the leash at this point. And then she unleashes the dog, and then the dog charges at Sora from like 50 yards away. And well, I pick up Sora because I'm like, well, I'm not going to like, risk whatever the heck this dog is going to do to her, because it didn't really look too friendly. And I know that there's people, they love the "my dog is friendly" excuse. And I'm sure many of you disc doggers have felt this same pain.
And you know what I do to people? It doesn't matter what dog I have out there. When they say, well, my dog's friendly, I say, my dog's not. I don't care if I have Bonbon out there that's this big, who's as friendly as can be.
Yeah.
My response is, my dog isn't. Just because, get away from me. I'm going to come at it as hard so you understand my dog's not friendly. Go away.
Well, that's what I do too. And
maybe
Sora
they'll think
is
for a second,
friendly.
Maybe their dog's not friendly. Duh.
Sora is friendly and she is sweet, but she's shy and she has had dogs go after her before. And to me, it's not worth risking a random dog coming up to her. And that's the case for any of my dogs, but especially Sora, even though she is a nice dog. I mean, I even have, walked her through Frisbee events and I just tell people, oh, she's not good with other dogs, which technically that's not true. But I want people to leave her alone at competitions with their dogs because I just don't want her to have a bad experience that's totally unfair to her. So anyway, so the dog's charging and I call Sora up and have her jump in my arms. And, the dog's standing there barking and, mad dogging her. And he's not trying to bite her or anything. But, after, 5 minutes of holding her, she's getting heavy for me. I'm not that strong. And so this woman is coming over at the slowest speed possible. And I'm like, okay, TikTok, like, lady, come get your dog. Like, the dog obviously isn't listening to her. She didn't even really try to call it. It was obvious that she let the dog off leash so it could go after my dog. And I'm just like, woman, like, why? Like, we're clearly doing something else.
And again, this is someone creating conflict.
Yes, they created conflict where there was none. I'm like, if her dog, I don't care that her dog's off leash. I care that her dog's bothering mine. If her dog was just off leash, like, going over the trees and stuff, I don't really care. But, her dog's coming over to bother mine. So there I'm like, no, you need to get your dog on a leash. And she's like, well, yours isn't on a leash. And I said, yeah, well, mine's not bothering yours. Yours is coming over here and you have no control of it. So get control of your dog. And then she's like, well, I'll put a leash on mine, or no, she said, well, this wouldn't have happened if your dog was on leash. And I'm like, no, it wouldn't have. You should have kept yours on leash. It was obviously like mad dogging mine before you even let it go. And she's like, well, your dog should be on a leash. And I'm like, there's like 6 other people around the park with their dogs off leash. Why didn't you do this to them? Like, why didn't you go over to the guy with the German Shepherd? oh, maybe because that one would probably kick your dog's ass.
I just never understand people who can't mind their own freaking business and everything has to be about them. And they don't want you to live your life and just be happy and they have to get into your business.
No, they just,
That whatever you were doing
She
had nothing to do with her. She could have just been somewhere else or whatever. I mean, it drives me nuts when I'm in a park and I'm working with my dogs and this happens. I don't know how many times this has happened. And I'm there and I'm training, right? So I'm giving my dogs commands. I'm doing freestyle. Usually it's in the middle of freestyle. And then people are saying stuff to ask me questions on the sideline. Look, I don't have time to talk to you. So what do? I just ignore them. I do my job, which is to play with my dog and to get my training done. Now, if I'm just standing there, yes, no problem. I'll answer a question. I have had people mother F me and all this stuff because I ignored them.
Oh, I know.
While
People get
training
crazy.
my dog.
People get crazy.
So what?
Yeah.
I ruined your day because I'm busy
I had one
doing
the other
something
day
else?
where I was clearly training Link, and this guy lets his doodle come up, and he's like, well, she's friendly. She just wants to play. I said, mine doesn't. We're trying to train something. He's like, oh, what are you training? I'm like, buddy. And I was in a real time crunch, which to me, like a lot of times when I go to the park, I'm just trying to get the training done and go because I got the next thing to do, and I don't have time. It's always nice when I have leisure time, and I'll hang out and answer people's questions if I have time, but I was like, bud, I've got like 10 minutes. I need to be out of here. And I need you to get control of your dog. And then that guy at least felt bad after. And I was like, dude, I got to go. You need to get your dog. Mine doesn't want to play. But anyway, so back to the crazy lady in Canada. She, then she didn't want to get her dog on leash. And I was like, lady, you need to get your dog on a leash now because I'm not putting my dog down until you get control of your dog. Because if your dog goes after mine, I am going to defend my dog and I'm going to do whatever it takes. And she like took that as a threat and she started cursing at me and all this stuff. And I said, get your fucking dog under control. So she finally comes over and gets the dog and puts it on leash. And so I get Sora and put her on leash, take her back to the van. And then I say, bye, bitch. Have fun with your walk. Like, you need it because you're clearly out of your fucking mind. And so she goes off and she's flipping me off as she leaves and whatever. Of course, like, she walked, so slow away from me, too. I was like, Lord, woman. So I leave and go back to the van, and I'm like, damn it. Sora was the only one that I had played with, and I was like, I got Flair and Link. And mind you, I had already driven to 3 other parks that day that I walked onto, and the ground was not suitable, in my opinion, for my dogs. It was not safe to play on. The grass was not good, and there was a lot of unevenness. And so I was like, a lot of the grass around here is not good, like really kind of dangerous to play on, and I really need to play my other 2 dogs. And this park's grass was good. So I was like, crap. So now I'm like, well, okay, I need to play with the other 2 dogs, but I don't want to try to drive around because I've driven to all the like close parks and none of them are very good. And so I wait till the lady gets out of eyesight. I don't know if you guys can hear Link snoring, but he is snoring and it's really funny. So anyway, I pull out Flair and I play her really quick, no sight of this woman. I'm like, we're going to get out of here without this crazy woman again. And if that dog came up on Flair would not have liked that at all. So then I go out with Link and she comes back around. She walks by somebody who had their dog off leash and she didn't do anything. So I don't know what her deal was. Like,
conflict.
She wasn't targeting everybody with a dog off leash. So I don't understand this at all. But anyway, alas, she continues her walk and then she's in eyesight. And I'm like, oh no, I got to play with Link still. And so I start playing with him real quick and stuff. And, she starts beelining over and I'm like, God damn it, she's about to do this again. And I'm like, no. So I start playing with Link just a little bit, just to get him enough. And, I go back into the car and unfortunately, I think she saw me get into the van and I was like, getting ready to leave and stuff. because I'm like, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to deal with this freaking lady anymore. I already have a good story from the Springfield, Missouri thing a couple of years ago. So then I'm trying to leave, and she like beelines her car. Suddenly, she can walk fast, so never before seen. And so she beelines to her car and gets in the car and backs up and pulls up behind me, like so I can't back out. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So now you're gonna prevent me from leaving. And I see her in the rearview mirror. And I'm like, yeah, really? For fuck's sake, just let me go, woman. And I get out, and she's got she was struggling. This woman, I think she was probably in her 70s too. So I don't know what's up with these ladies in their 70s, but they're having issues. And so she's struggling to get the picture on her phone. She's taking a picture of my license plate, and I'm like, ooh, God, like what? Like, really? Deport me? Like, I don't. Like, what is this? And so I'm like, can I help you? And she's like, I'm calling the cops or whatever. And I'm like, okay, go for it. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, why? So you can, tell them how your dog tried to assault my dog?
That you took it off leash, and that she's calling the cops because she just doesn't like you having fun.
Yeah, she's calling the cops because she tried to assault me. Like, what? What are you talking? And so, anyway, so she's taking pictures of the license plate. And so I took a picture of her license plate and her dog and all of that. And she drove off. And I honestly just left because I was like, what? I don't know what more there is to do here. Like, I played my dogs. I'm not really going to wait around for the Canadian police to come over so I can tell them this crazy woman, is out of her freaking mind. But yeah, so that was another event in Canada. I didn't get a "you California piece of shit" from her. I don't know if that was the reason.
So some of the letters are the same in Canada and California. I don't know.
I thought Canadians like California.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know, man. Sometimes you encounter crazy on these disc dogging adventures.
Nothing you can do about it. And
I just want to tell you about it.
I just want people, leave me alone. Don't come up and start complaining to me when I'm not even anywhere in your space doing anything to you. You just don't like that I'm living my life. Get out of my way.
Well, and my dogs aren't bothering them.
This is why I'm an introvert, because this stuff, I don't get it.
We were not near anybody. I mean, we weren't bothering anybody. Nobody was. I mean, there was people at the park, but they were all really far from one another. It was a huge park.
I had a guy at the park tell me he was. This is a person who's obviously on some kind of drugs or something like that, and their clothes are like they don't have a shirt on or anything like that. It's right next to a school, also, which
Oh, great!
I mean, all this stuff just isn't great. He's in a van that is like barely can run, and he has all kinds of crap laying around everywhere in the parking lot, and just like a lawn chair and just all this kind of stuff. You could picture it like the worst possible scenario of somebody who's just, quite honestly, just disgusting and acting that way. And I pulled in backwards into my spot. And at the park, there is a rule. If you walk in, there's like 800 rules, and of them is no drugs. Probably don't take your shirt off, and all those kinds of things, because you're right by a school.
Was this your usual?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the rule says, it actually says no, a front end parking only, meaning you can't back your car into a space. I'll be honest with you, I have
everybody always backs their cars in.
And there's half the cars there are backed in, backwards. So he doesn't I could tell he just doesn't like me for whatever reason. I was playing with my dogs, doing whatever, and he comes over, he goes, "You need to park in the other way." I said, what problem is this causing for you? The rule is you have to park the other way or whatever. I said, why? Does this really bother you? He goes, yes, you need to do that. You're breaking the rules. I said, you know what? You got to call the cops, man. This is like going to be number one on their list. Call the cops. And the guy just kept going on and on. I just kept getting my dogs and playing him. He's yelling at me, doing all this stuff, going like a lunatic. I'm just completely ignoring him. And my message to him was just go call the cops, because I'm sure they're going to love to waste time on this.
Did he? He didn't.
Nothing happened. The guy actually ended up starting to throw his stuff in his dump of a van. I never saw the guy again. And I'm there all the time. This is someone who goes from park to park, does his drugs,
Yeah.
gets in
Find
trouble.
something to
I mean,
complain
just
about.
it's just very obvious. It's like the same
It's
kind
got
of thing.
nothing to do. Nothing
Complaining
to
to me because I parked in the wrong way, and I actually don't know what that rule's even about. I'm so curious because I've seen
Yeah.
that at parks all over the country. Front end parking only. You can't back
But
in.
so many people
I have
back
no
in
idea
at
why.
that part. I didn't even know that was a rule.
Yeah, about half of them back in. Just like any other parking lot, everyone just ignores that because obviously it makes no
Nobody
sense. There
cares.
can't be any
And
good
nobody's
reason for it.
policing it. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
And
well,
it's
I
not
told him to go
hurting
call the
anybody.
police because it would have been funny. The police would have come and I would have been like, "You got to go talk to that guy. That guy's the problem." They'd be like, "Yeah,
Oh, we got to tell them what happened at the last competition. Were you there? Oh, I don't think I even told you
I
about
was at
this.
the last competition.
Were you? No. But did I even tell you about this? The cops were called about that guy. Oh gosh, you showed up. You showed up at the end of registration. You missed all of this. I think I forgot to tell you. Okay, so at the last competition, Jeff doesn't even know this story. Okay, so at our last competition, all the flags are set up and the easy ups are set up, and this guy shows up with his two dogs. And he walks out to the middle of the field in the middle of the flags and everything with his chucket. And he starts chucketing his dogs in the middle of the field. So Paul goes out there, our Paul.
Oh, by the way, Paul, I don't know if you listen to these, but man, thank you. You're our guy whenever there's a problem.
Yeah.
A troublemaker. Paul's our guy.
Between Paul and Zora, we're set.
Yes.
But so anyway, so Paul, our club member Paul, goes out there and tells the guy, "Hey man, you can't be doing chuck it here. We're doing a competition. Like there's another field over there. You can go play over there. We're not going to say anything. Like whatever." Paul's nice about it. Okay,
very professional.
He's good. And so this guy comes back and he's like, "No man, this is my park. I'm going to play with the dogs here." And
of course, but by the way, we have a.
It's reserved.
Yeah, it's reserved.
The field
we
is
have
reserved.
the entire
There's
park.
signage posted all over.
Yes.
That the park is reserved.
We didn't just show up.
We didn't just show up. I mean, it is reserved for us, and you're not allowed to have dogs off leash at that park unless it's like us, and we have reserved it. We've cleared it with the park, all of that good stuff. So the guy was like, arguing with Paul over it, and Paul said, "You need to get out now." And he said, "I'm not leaving until you call the cops." And so he goes over and he goes under the flags and he goes on the other side of the field, but he's right next to the flags and he's still doing it. And now the problem is that it's the principal. It's like,
and we have that area too.
We do have that area too.
But we let people walk through. We don't care. We mark off our area as long as you're not impacting us.
And the competition hadn't started yet. If that guy had just been off to the side doing that for a little bit, he was there for 10, 15 minutes and gone, we wouldn't have said anything. There would have been no argument. So even our parks person was there and she went over and talked to him. She said, "Yeah, you can't be here doing that. This park is reserved for them." He said, "Call the cops or I'm not leaving." Paul's like, "You know what? I'm going to do it." He called the cops. 2 cops showed up, and one cop had to go over there and start talking to him. Then the backup person came, and he was arguing with the cops. He was arguing with the cops.
Oh, I kind of wish it'd be one of those videos to be on TV. This is what happens when you argue with cops.
I got pictures, so I'll show you later. But yeah, I was like, wow, this is eventful. And so, after he argued with the cops, I wish they would have ticketed him just for being a jerk. Like if he would have just said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been such a dickhead," and then walked off. All right. But yeah, the whole thing, it was like, hey, maybe just don't be an asshole and we're cool with you, playing. Like, I wouldn't have cared if he was off to the side. Like, it was before the competition had started. So,
and we've had this many times. Kids don't really know what they're doing. They walk on the field, start throwing a football or something.
We're like, hey, go over there.
Just
do it over
there. And it's still in the part we have reserved, but we're like, just do it right over here. It's totally fine. Just stay at least 10 feet away from the flags and that'd be great. Thanks a lot.
We're reasonable.
There's never a problem.
But yeah, this guy didn't want to be reasonable. So anyway, the cops had to
looking for conflict.
The cops had to tell him to leave. He did eventually leave, but it was like he was all mad and stuff, and it was like, bro. And then he went over. Apparently, Ken told me after, Ken, who's also in our group, he told me that the guy went over to the athletic fields that were closed because they were like all wet or they were doing something, and he shredded him. His dog shredded the
man.
freaking field. It's like, come on,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, because Ken went over to practice throwing, but
Yeah,
without
he
the dog.
did.
Without the
Yeah.
dog,
He goes over there to warm up.
Yeah, he warms up.
And
that's just great sportsmanship, with Ken going to warm up somewhere that is completely out of view of the field as far as you can go. You can't see this area.
No, you can't. But yeah, he's like, that guy was over there. And I'm like, God, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
well, that was story time.
Yeah,
that was
story time of some encounters in our time in disc dogging. So hope you enjoyed and hope you laughed a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been
the Disc Dog Pod.